Hi, my name is Brian and I'm the 3D print creator, and in this video I'm going to show you guys how it's possible to subtract scan data that you created with your Creality scanner and the software Creality Scan from something that you are building in Fusion. I hear a lot of people say that this is not possible, but that's simply not true. I do this on a daily basis. There are some limitations in Fusion that you have to know. If you know these limitations, well, then it's very simple. So let's dive in and I'll show you how I do it. So the first steps will be in Creality Scan. And I already made my scan of some speakers from Logitech that I have on my desk. And well, I think that everyone with a Creality scanner knows how to make a scan like this. I have the underground of the scan, so the turntable, a little bit visible, and that's because I'm going to use this later on in Fusion. Well, let's dive into this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to the edit page, and then we have this scan data over here, which is the data I want to work with. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is hole filling, and I'm using manual hole filling because I don't want the software to think for me where the holes have to be filled. I want to do this myself. And if there are holes, they will be visible and I will see them here on my screen. So I'm going to look very carefully if there are holes that need to be filled. Well, I don't think that there is anything which is not seen so far. So this is good. And then I'll normally press confirm, but it's something I already done on this scan, so I don't have to do it. Another thing I sometimes do is over here to smoothen the mesh. Now, again, for this mesh, it's not something I have to do, but sometimes it's easy because in the next step, we want to reduce the number of faces. And when you're smoothing out the mesh, then sometimes you will have less faces that you need for a good quality scan. Now, here we go to the last stage, and that is the simplification of this mesh. And what I want, because Fusion wants this, is a mesh of less than 10,000 faces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this down until here we can see a number that is smaller than 10,000. And this is where the software is a bit buggy, because I'm bringing it down to 9,984 faces. I say that I want to see the preview of this, but as you can see, it's not bringing it down to the number I want. It's bringing it down to 40,000 faces. This is something you have to keep in mind, because no matter what you do, you can't bring it down to the number of faces that we actually need for Fusion 360. I'm going to click confirm, and now I'm going to download this mesh. Now here we are in Autodesk Fusion, and in this software I'm going to show you how to work with the scan data. So the first thing I'm going to do is importing that scan data, and you will do that in the mesh section, where this button chooses to import your mesh. And I'll go to my computer, hit the speaker OBJ, and here it is. Now, don't click on OK or anything. First you have to center this, and you have to move it to the ground, which is very important because we want to align this to the coordinate system of Fusion. And at this moment it's not aligned. There are a few steps we have to take for that. So here it is, and I'm going now to hit OK. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to view this under several different viewports, and see which viewport I have to change first. And I think that the best viewport to change now is this one. And I have to make sure that this bottom plane will be straight. So I'm going to click this move copy command. I'm going to click this object. So now it is blue. And now I can rotate it and make it straight. Now you need something to reference it to. And the way I do it is I make it a bit bigger. I do this by scrolling with my mouse. I'm going to change the position where it is at. And now I have this line at the bottom of my screen, which I can use as a kind of ruler. So, well, yeah, I think that now this is straight. And this is also the reason why I chose to have that bottom integrated in the export that I made in Creality Scan. So I'm going to hit OK. Now I will go to another viewport. So like this, I will go to this viewport. And again, I'm going to take this object, bring it to a place where I can correctly view it, and try to scale it and make it straight. Now you will see that the smallest movement I can make with my mouse is too big. And therefore I'm going to use numerical values that I can enter with my keyboard. So now 2.0 is, I think, the value I have to select. Then this is eyeballed straight. And again, we have to go to another viewport. So let's take this one. Well, this is far from good. So again, and you'll see me use this move and copy command a lot of times, because you can't do this in one time. Then you will change things for the worst. So you have to do this multiple times. Sometimes you will be ready in 3. Sometimes you will have to do it 8 or 9 times, and then you will be ready. Again, I'm going to rotate until I think it's pretty good. And for that, I want to have this and this corner at the same height. So I'm going to rotate until I think that it will look pretty okay. And I think at 80 point, again, I'm going to use numerical values. Yeah, 18.1, that will be the good one. So now I think I've done it at the best that I can do it. And from all planes, it's looking straight. Because this is how I want to work with it. This is okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is going to the modify and then reduce, because this mesh has way too much faces. And as you saw, it was not possible in Creality Scan to bring the faces down to a numerical value that was smaller than 10,000. So I have to do it here. It would have been perfect if this could be done in Creality Scan, because there I can see the numerical value of my faces. Here I can't. So I'm selecting this mesh. When I saved it, it was just above 100,000 faces. In the video that I recorded, it was 40,000, but I know this one is 100,000. So a numerical value lower than 10% will bring this down to less than 10,000 faces. I'm going to hit OK. And now my computer is computing it. And here we have a mesh that has less than 10,000 faces. So this is what I'm going to work with. Now, I'm going to open all these blocks under my browser. And the first thing I'm now going to do is I'm going to make this one blue. I'm going to hit Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and I will have a copy of this block. Hit OK, and there it is. I will give this one a name. This is the copy. Oh, copy speaker. And I will make the other one invisible. This is what I'm going to be working with. Now, this has a low number of faces. It's a copy, so I can do whatever I want with it. Now I'm going to bring the origin in the image. And as you will see, the origin is right behind the scan data. And for what I'm going to make, I want to create a simple block. So I'm going to create, first I'm going too fast, sorry. The first thing I'm now going to do is I'm going to modify this mesh again, and I'm going to convert it. So I hit convert and I click OK. This will take a while. It says that it's got more than 10,000 triangles, but this is not true. It's less than 10,000 triangles. And now everything is saved and now it's converted. It's not blue anymore. It's now gray. So here we are with my converted mesh. And well, it looks a bit rough, but it's good enough. Believe me, it's good enough. Now I'm going to the solid phase. And this is where I'm going to need this origin, because I'm going to create a box on this plane chosen from the origin. I want to see it from the right angle. And I'm going to make that block from here to, well, here. I'm going to make it way too big. And the reason is that I'm now going to adjust it. So first let me bring it here. And see it from the right side. Because what I want to do is I want to create something on which I can rest my desk. So I want the speaker to be half inside this box, half outside of this box. And therefore, well, maybe this. It's going to be, by the way, a new body. And now I'm going to, whoa, this is too much. I want to bring this back until, well, maybe here. Just above that speaker hole. That's too much, like here. Now I bring the sides back until it's even on both sides. I'm just eyeballing this. It says it's now 75 millimeters wide, 0.67. Well, I'm going to make this 75 because that's an even number. I like that. I like even numbers. Here it's going to be way too deep, but I'm going to adjust that a little later on. The height on the bottom side I have to change, and I'm going to bring that, if possible, to this place. This is my scanned table. So when I'm working with that position, I know it's going to be straight on the table. And now I'm going to hit OK. Now I created a new body. So it's not integrated in the speaker. It's just a new body. And now I can hit the E button and go and extrude the top to where I want it. Like, for example, well, maybe here. and click OK. I can extrude the back so that it won't be too big. But I want it to have the whole thing embedded inside. So something like this. Yeah, I think this is pretty much okay. And now for the part where you've all been waiting for, where some people say, well, it's impossible to cut out a scan from something you created. Well, if you use the combine tool, I use the S on my keyboard to bring up this design shortcut menu. I click on the combine tool. I choose the target body, which is this body that I created. I choose the tool body, which is the copy of speaker. This will take a little while. And I choose the cut command. And now you can choose to keep your tool. And this is something I'm going to do. I want to keep my tool. So here it is. And now my computer is busy rendering and working, but I click on the OK button. And now we have created a new body. And if I subtract the speaker, you will see that it cut out the speaker from this block that I made. And this is exactly what I want. Now you can also see that there are some other parts which were in that speaker, in the holes in that speaker, which should not be there. So this, for example, this body 5, well, I don't need it, so I turn it off. Body 4, same thing. So I turn it off. Body 3, well, same thing. And body 2, well, again, same thing. So what I've got here, I think there are more bodies. Yeah, there are more here and there. Body 8, body 7 is the one I want to keep, and there is nothing more. So my body 7, I'm going to bring that up, and I'm going to rename it box without. Oh, I'm going to rename it, I said. Why isn't it working? Ah, because I'm doing something different. It's the box without speaker. And this, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I wanted to make. Because this is where I can add my speaker in my desk. Now, there are a few other things I'm going to do, which I'm also going to show you. I'm going to create a new sketch on this plane. I'm going to project this bottom view. I'm going to draw a line. And that line will be from here to here. Now, with that whole thing, I'm going to create something which is a little bit smaller. So I'm going to choose sorry, I have to go back in the sketch. I made a mistake. I'm back in the sketch. I'm going to select the lines. And I want to make a new box on the inside. So I have to make sure it's on the inside. Minus, well, 4 millimeters. That's okay. Extrude. this part. And to what am I going to extrude it? Well, I'm going to cut out a whole lot of room here. Not everything, but almost. Something like this, I guess. Okay. Now, what we've got is an opening in which I can place my speaker, on which my desk can rest. I'm going to draw 4 holes in this opening. And well, that's it. This is going to be my my new desk holder for my monitor standard that I'm going to make. I will include some images of it as well. And this is going to be a very useful 3D print. And you saw that it was possible to subtract that speaker, or that speaker, from the body that we have. So we created our own box, we created our own speaker, and we subtracted that speaker scan data from the box that we created. I hope you learned something from this video, and I also hope that Creality will change the software so that it can create less than 10,000 faces, because that would be really improving the software to work with Fusion, where its limitation is 10,000 faces. Another thing which would be really beneficial is if we can set the coordinate system right from Creality Scan. It knows what the table is, so it would be great if it knows that that table at least is the bottom of your scan, and that you only have to rotate it so that you can select what the front is. That would be very handy things, which I think won't be that difficult to incorporate in Creality Scan software. And it would make life much, much easier. Now, I promised you that I would show you what the reason was why I made this. Well, this desk, this is what I created, and therefore I made this. And yeah, thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel. I make YouTube videos, and it's all about things like this. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Subscribe and like. Bye bye. See you later.